all the beautiful listeners of your radio station, Islam Media.
Now, this development using language, what does it mean for Kashmir, and how does it once again entrench the occupation?
Well, Indians or Indian government has been playing, asymmetrical warfare on Kashmir. Maybe like the human right, the deprivation of civil liberties and political liberties, then the physical torture. Then now they said, nothing is happening. Let's start, psychologically break them down. As, the Steve Biko once said, the most powerful tool in the hand of oppressor is the mind of oppressed. So I think, the Kashmiris have not given up for the last 70 years. The mothers are, giving the birth to the babies an 18-year. You look after your young child, and when he's become, the adult, he's supposed to go to get married and look after the family livelihood. The mothers are sending them for a jihad and say, don't come back until you win. So, they realized that by torturing, by killing over 100,000 people, maiming, all sort of, the physical torture that they have incurred on the Kashmiri people. Now they say, this is a new technique that we have learned from the Israelis, because the Israelis and, the Jews and the Hindus are working together. They say, let's start working to break them. They break by psychological and their culture values, the Islamic values. So this is another one of the tactics that they are using in their asymmetrical warfare against Kashmir.
The use of language, as you said, asymmetrical warfare. What are the new languages that have been come in? Are they indigenous to the people of Kashmir? And what role did Urdu play and its importance in the region?
Well, Urdu is Urdu is the official language of Pakistan, and if you look at the Urdu, it is made up of the 7 different languages of the regional languages, which is Persian, Turkmenistan, a little bit of English, Portuguese, and mixture of Sanskrit, and they all form a beautiful language of Urdu, and that has been adopted as the official language since the inception of Kashmir, which was adopted as official language in the All-Party Hurriyat Conference or All-Party Muslim League Kashmir Conference in 1931, 35, and then, of course, in 1947. And then it was in 1954, even when the Kashmir was waiting for the free and fair plebiscite. India come out with this new gimmick that, we do not need to have the plebiscite. Why do you need a plebiscite? Why do you need a referendum? I give you the autonomous status, which they changed constitute conveniently in 1954 and say we will no longer going to have the United Nations promised plebiscite, which we have promised in 1947 through the resolution 47. But now we give you the semi-autonomous state. You can have your flag, you can have everything. The only thing we control is telecommunication and telecommunication defense, and you can have rest of it. And it was amended in the constitution that this will not be revoked, this will not be challenged, this will be the new form of a government. You can have your status, and we want to protect your border. But then what happened and that continued for 70 years. People say, no, we not want to get some of the sold out parties, the Mahbub Mufti and Sheikh Abdullah, Farooq Abdullah, they buy into that, and they were happy with the small faction. But when it's come to the majority of the people, that all the elections for the last 70 years never had more than 3% of the Kashmiris representation. So all the elections, sham election that has been held by the Indian government or Indian stooge Kashmir government, they never attracted more than that. So now, this language is being the part of their constitutional values, and when they revoked Article 370-35A, which is belong to, and I must emphasize that it's not only 35A, it's go all the way to Z, because every time they have 370 Article 35A, B is Assam, C is Nagapur. It's, many states within India have autonomous status given through the Indian Constitution. So now the question is that how many languages? There's going to be English, there's going to be Hindi, there's going to be Sanskrit, there is going to be Punjabi, and including the Urdu. So what they're trying to say that we are in charge, and also for the last 1 year, since I've spoken to you last year, it has been an influx of the people moving from outside, from the India, the mainland, to the Kashmiri territory.
And the state of on the ground right now, there's been very little news coming out from Kashmir, unfortunately, due to the communication lockdowns, internet that's on and off, on and off. They basically giving 2G connection, which can hardly be used. What is the condition of people from reports that you have had on the ground right now?
I wish one day you do a lot of charity work and you do your radio station stand for humanitarian radio station.
Salman? All right, that call seems to have dropped there. Let's see if we can try and get him back online. Salman Khan from the South African Kashmiri Action Group was about to give us some background into what the current situation in Kashmir is right now. At the moment in South Africa, the main talking point is the clash and the anger that the Clicks group of companies has come about through an advertising campaign for which they have now had to apologize for. But let's see if we can get Salman back online with regards to the background in Kashmir. Assalamu alaikum, Salman. We lost you there for a moment. You were saying what's happening?
What I was saying is your radio station is stand for the humanitarian radio station. One day I'd love to have your team going there freely and do an own for fact-finding mission. Inshallah, it will happen one day. But on your question, what is the ground reality? The ground reality is, you spoke to Rawa Shah. She is a South African. She's from the occupied Kashmir. I'm from the Azad Kashmir. The problem is the last 20 years, the Kashmir life is abnormal. There is no civil liberties. There is no freedom of expression. There is no freedom of movement. There is no freedom of association. When I say there is no freedom of association and movement, it means the 3 boys or 3 small kids, they cannot even walk in a group of 3 to 4. The minute they're more than 3, they call it a mob, and there is a impunity has been given to the Indian soldiers, shoot to kill at sight. So you can kill them, you can shoot them and kill them. So there is nothing is normal. But what happened in after the 5th of August 2019, when they added another 200,000 military forces into the Indian occupied Kashmir. One. Secondly, also they cut down the internet connectivity, so there is no telecommunication whatsoever. You can't even make a land call. And then, of course, what else happened is that it was a total curfew. It was a total brute curfew. Our lockdown that we see was bad. Their lockdown was that people was burying their own child or, the young babies because there was no milk formulas in a house and they was not allowed to go outside. So the life is very abnormal for 70 years, but it became completely non-existent for the last years as the revocation happened, because they was hoping that India and Pakistan will go on to the war and they bring all another 200,000 armed forces, which is equivalent to the 90% of Indian total forces was stationed and is still stationed in the hills of Kashmir. So, giving your answer to your question, what is a life? Life is miserable. As I said, there is more than, I'm really shocked you as 13,000 boys in a 1 year and 1 month have been lifted, abducted, and put into places which their parents and nobody know about it. 13,000. And that has been reported by the Amnesty International, on the ground forces, and to the Human Rights Watch. Imagine 13,000 youth has been taken from the home in the darkness of the night under the name of the cordon of a cordon of search warrant. When they say cordon of search warrant, they think we are suspecting in this area, which is a 200 square meter or 1 kilometer. They put up the circle of the army vans. Nobody can come in, and they go, whether they rape, whether they murder, whatever they do, they have taken the whole of the colonies has gone into. So the situation is that it's like you call it a genocide or you don't call it a genocide. I call it a silent genocide.
Salman Khan from the South African Kashmiri Action Group. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much for joining us and for once again stirring our conscience and reminding us about the plight of the Kashmiri people. You go well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice. For over 80 years, Osman's Taj Mahal have been perfecting the art of the perfect blend of spices, pure, aromatic,